It is Indiana in the Morning here in the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. We've been enjoying a series of conversations in this month after the end of the school year with Indiana Area Superintendent Michael Vuckovich, sort of getting behind the scenes of what it's like, not just for a summer, but for planning for the coming year. And we want to get into that conversation with him once again. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning again.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us again. Let's talk about summer camp, how it's going right now. We're, 2-3 weeks into it now?
Yeah, we are. We're in the last week of the first session. It's going incredibly well. We've seen high attendance rates on the part of the students, a lot of smiling faces, and we're excited to see what the data looks like here at the end of the year. We're going to do some progress monitoring to see what the performance is pre and post, and we're excited about the work we're doing, and the first session will be coming to end here shortly.
Yeah. Adjustments and evaluations, just like any other aspect of school life, you have to do that. And when you look at things, are there adjustments that you're thinking, okay, let's for the second session, let's do this or let's do that? Do you have to go through that process?
Absolutely. I think the most important thing we're doing, Todd, throughout this process is giving meaningful feedback to our teachers. As you know, we have underwent a series of curriculum changes, and that comes with a lot of change in pedagogy, a lot of changes in the way we practice and the way we do things. So what we're doing is using this time as an opportunity to help provide coaching and support to our teachers to make sure that we're implementing the programs that we have with fidelity. And that's the most important part. It's like anything else. You get better with practice, right? And good practice. And that's what we're focusing on right now. And we're also revamping it and really thinking about what we can always do better. And one of the littlest things or easiest things that we did was really looked at how we did a bus arrival and dismissal time to do that better. And we're learning and we're growing every day. But end of the day, those are things that people don't see on stage. It's off stage work. And what we see on stage is smiling faces. And that's what we're excited about.
Yeah. So we knew that it was innovative. We knew that it was going to be fun for the kids. And as long as they're having fun, sometimes you can have fun and not even realize you're learning.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty. That's the trick, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. Okay, so that's going on. Regular summer credit enrichment is coming back, and they're doing that as well. I'm assuming that's going well too.
It is. We see high numbers of students interested not only in credit recovery, but credit advancement. And what we're doing behind scenes now, we had a great meeting yesterday with Westmoreland Community College about how we can continue to expand our dual enrollment opportunities. Again, like we spoke last week, I think that's one of the biggest equalizers out there for giving kids hope, opportunity, and access. And we had a great conversation about how we can increase the number of offerings for the 21-22 school year.
Yeah, you talked about that last week. I could tell from the way that you spoke about it how passionate you are about dual enrollment. And of course, you add AP classes into that. And they're two different things that have much the same result. They give people a sort of a boost in their post-school career as they consider what their next educational alternatives are. It's such a great advantage to the student.
It is. It's, it provides not only academic advancement, but also provides some financial relief for our families and hope and opportunity. And that's what we're all about, Todd, right? Making sure kids have access and opportunity to all the great things that we have to offer. And we need to expand and we need to grow. We're going to take an aggressive approach to that. And I think you'll see in the next coming meetings and hopefully months, some changes in our agreement, some changes in addition of courses we're going to have. And the one thing we're going to do, like I spoke about last week, is we're trying in July, maybe July 12th or 19th, I'm not sure yet. We're going to try to have a local community symposium on the importance of dual enrollment because I think we have an obligation to create awareness and understanding of the benefits of it and also explain to our public and our families and our community how we can really have a world where AP and dual enrollment exists. But if you ask me, my big vision, when we look at the opportunities I want to provide kids, I want to make sure we grow our own and keep our best here in Indiana for those who want to be here with a nice articulation agreement between us, Westmoreland Community College, and IUP.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So those are in the academic plans. This is the budget season for schools, and it's really crunch time now. And I wanted to talk to you about that. Preparing a budget, it's more than a spending plan. It's also a resource gathering plan. And school districts, I think I was thinking on this the other day, that folks probably don't realize you're heading into a budget season plan and preparing a budget without knowing what you're going to be getting from the state in terms of your subsidy. And that's an awfully difficult proposition and requires some pretty adept maneuvering, doesn't it?
It does. And I have to give all the credit to our board of directors 3 years, we have no tax increases. I feel comfortable and confident we're positioned that possibly that can happen again for this upcoming school year because we've been good stewards of our finances. We've been fiscally responsible. The last couple of years, we had a surplus through good management, good leadership of the board that put us in position financially to be cognizant and aware of some of the struggles our community members are going through, especially in the middle of the pandemic. So that's always on top of our mind. But, it is difficult when we're at a local level trying to plan and we're waiting on to see what happened at the state level. As you know, Todd, and back maybe 1977, the state was probably putting 50 to 55% into school funding. Now that has really been thrusted and minimalized down to about 30, 35%, with that lion's share having been made up at the local level, which is increasingly difficult and troublesome at times. But we have to navigate those waters, and I'm proud of the work of the board and our administration to get us through these difficult financial times the last several years.
It's really interesting you say that as well, because we look at the state system of higher education, the same thing. The state subsidy goes down. The needs never go down. There's always more need, and budgets always go up because, just the basics of teacher salaries and employee salaries, those go up, those expenses go up. You have to find some way to meet it, and if your revenues are going down, it really does take some gymnastics. So kudos to the business manager and kudos to everybody else who's working on that formula, because it's really, really difficult. When you do a budget, as I assume the final budget is up for final approval here coming next week, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When you do a budget such as that, how much adjustment then is having to be made in the course of the next school year in terms of we didn't allocate enough for this, we did for that, and maybe we can adjust over here? Do we have to tap into the fund balance? That has to be quite the exercise.
Oh, absolutely. The relationship between myself and the business manager has to be one where we meet every single day just to be flexible and nimble, because things can turn on a dime and we have to be able to meet that moment. So there's always ongoing conversations. We meet, like what I do from a leadership standpoint, we meet every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, my administrative teams come together and we have, several domains. One be academics, extracurriculars, but there's also business and financial side that where we meet together and we plan together, and that way we communicate together. And that helps us stay on course and stay on track with what we want to do and be fiscally responsible, because we're blessed to have this opportunity to lead our community and lead our district, but we want to be good agents for the community. So we always have constant planning, and we always have to be nimble and flexibility, and that's whatever we do. So that always stays at the forefront, and we make sure all hands are on deck and everyone's input. And we also value the transparency. As you'll see at our audit and finance committee meetings or other meetings, we're very open and honest about the cost that we have and how we can spend it, but also how different ways in which we can come up with some cleverness and some creativity how to offset some of those costs. So we're really fiscally responsible. We're also aggressive in writing for grants. And before I got here, you didn't see Indiana receiving a tremendous amount of grants over the last 3 years during my administration's tenure. I think it's been close to $500,000 or above, and some outside grant monies that have come into the district to help offset those costs and allow us to still continue to provide programming for our kids.
This being Indiana Area School District, the 4 elementary schools, they have always been an issue. And particularly in the last 10 to 15 years, what do you do with this school? Do you close this one, rebuild that one? Here's a problem over here. And enrollment always enters into it. Grade configuration enters into it, and sometimes results from the elementary school discussion. This year, of course, the Eisenhower Elementary School issue is a big one for you to solve. So let's talk a little bit about elementary schools within the Indiana Area School District. And start with the Ike. What's going on with that?
Right now, they are finishing up all the mitigation efforts to clean it up and get it ready to go. Last night, we had a Buildings, Grounds, and Transportation Committee meeting where we started looking at options about what we want to do and what is the future of Indiana Area School District. This is one, Todd, that we're going to go slow to go fast, look at all the options, hopefully bring in an outsider to help facilitate this conversation. Because you have a couple different factors, right? You have always increasing cost. You have a decreasing enrollment in Indiana and Armstrong County. And those are variables that have to be considered as far as our decision making. Now, we welcome public input. We look forward to having a dialogue openly, but we have made no decision as of yet. But it doesn't preclude us from having difficult conversations. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's important, Todd, that, people talk about transparency and value that, but at least our actions are meeting our words, meaning that we're having those discussions in public, and we're going to go slow. I think it's going to take multiple meetings. So I think there goes my summer in July on Mondays, but I think it's important to really have that dialogue because we want to do something that is reflective of the community. But, the hard part is when you're an elected official or you're in my role, you serve the whole entire community. And that doesn't mean everyone agrees with your decision making. And, and that requires some skill, some tact, but also requires us to be good listeners. And what you see from the board of directors right now is doing everything they can to be good listeners, to collect data, and then make an informed decision. So that's where we're heading. And who knows where it'll go, but it doesn't preclude us from having a difficult conversation.
Within every school district and within every building within a school district, the modernization becomes an issue all the time because technology is just amazing, and the changes that technology requires, demands of a school district, they will change and pretty rapidly, and you have to be able to adapt to those. Are Indiana area's buildings wired as well as they could be? Are they technologically up to speed with what they need to be in this day and age?
Yeah, I'm really proud of the work we're doing in the area of technology. We, over the last several months, have increased our infrastructure as well as the equipment we have for our kids, meaning one-to-one. So I think we're in a great spot. And if you look at us from grades 4 through 12 or one-to-one student Chromebooks, but in grades pre-K through 3, we have enough to go one-to-one if we needed to. But we have carts in all of our buildings. We have the front of the room solutions. I really love where we're at in the area of technology. Like anything else, it's continuously growing and changing. So we want to stay ahead of the curve. And we're pretty fortunate to be in a good position to do that. We were smart to use some of our ESSER fundings to help offset some of those costs and make sure that we build not only the software and the tools that they need, meaning Chromebooks or projectors, but also our infrastructure. We're investing heavily, about $250,000 in our IT systems to make sure our servers and everything meet the moment and meet the capabilities that we need. So we're in a good place. I'm proud of the work we're doing, and we're continuing to push that even further here in the years to come.
Yeah, classrooms look a whole lot different these days too, don't they? And they probably will over the next 5 or 10 years. They're going to look even radically different from they do now.
Absolutely. And Todd, for us, principles have to be followed by practice, right? So we value relationships. We value great teaching. So at the forefront of what we do will be great teaching. Technology is, to me, in my opinion, like a textbook. It complements the work we're doing. It doesn't replace the teacher. So we want to make sure, first and foremost, we hire great people who are going to love and care for our kids unconditionally. And then we can incorporate those different other resources like technology that can only make the environment better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hey, I've enjoyed these conversations. Let's do some more this summer at some point, okay?
Looking forward to it, my friend.
He is Michael Vuckovich, Superintendent, Indiana Area School District. I thought that